I die with a clear conscience. I die fighting, not like a coward. But mark my words, the day of my vindication is coming.
Aim!
Yeah, go ahead, aim. Fire!
Fire!
Alive as you and me, since I was young, you're 10 years dead. I never die, says he. I never die, says he. In Salt Lake Joe, says I to him standing by my bed, they framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I ain't dead, says Joe, but I ain't dead. The copper bosses killed you, Joe, they shot you, Joe, says I, takes more than to kill a man, says Joe, I did not die, says Joe, I did not die. And standing there, as big as life, him smiling with his eyes, Joe says what they forgot to kill, went on to organize, went on to organize. Joe Hill ain't dead, he says to me, Joe Hill ain't never died, we're working men are out on strike. Joe Hill is at their side. Joe Hill is at their side. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where workers strike and organize, it's there you'll find Joe Hill. It's there you'll find Joe Hill. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. I never died, says he.
My name's Joe Hill. And I'm a member of the Industrial Workers of the World, IWW. They call us the Wobblies, but we don't wobble. We stand firm like a rock. Amen. I'm gonna sing you a song I wrote.
Sing it, Joey.
Come all ye toilers that work for wages, come from every land. Join the fighting band. Join the fighting band into one union band. Then for the workers we'll make upon this earth of paradise. And the slaves get wise, get wise, get wise and organize. I'm gonna tell you who we want. We are one big union. We want the sailor and the tailor and the lumberjack and all the cooks and laundry girls. We want the guy that dies for pearls, the pretty maid who's making curls, and the baker and the staker and the chambermaid and the man who's slinging hash, the kid who works for a little cash in one union flag. Now the chorus again, loud and strong. Ed. Big Ed here is the chairman of the local. Come on.
He's a good man, Ed. He's a good man.
This is copper country. Copper built this town. And every one of you, in one way or another, lives off the copper that comes out of the mines. And we are the copper miners.
That's true.
We work for Copper King Moody. He owns the mines, we dig the copper. We work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. We work 365 days a year.
Every day.
But our pay is so low that we don't have a dime to show for it. We want a decent living wage.
Right.
We want
Tell him what to be done.
to be able to raise a family.
Get it out of there. Get it out.
But Copper King Moody and his newspaper has been dishing out lies about us.
Yeah.
So we're on the soapbox to get the truth to you.
That's right.
Now, when a man has to answer to Copper King Moody, we say, he wears the copper collar. I see a lot of people here in front of me who wear the copper collar. Wouldn't some of you like to take it off? And you could, if you'd help us. Now, we're getting closer to strikes.
That's right.
We want you people in this town to know what it's about. And for once, to be on our side.
Can't do
See,
without
the
it.
thing is, when we win, it'll be better for you too.
That's right.
The more we get, the more we spend in your shops. Now, there's something else I must tell you. The police refused us a license for this meeting. So if you see the police march in, don't get scared, don't get panicked. Remember, this is a peaceable meeting.
Now, I got orders to arrest any man or woman making revolutionary speeches.
Lead the way.
Hands up! Hands up! We're the pushers, the haulers, the shovers. We grub in the dirt and shove it around. We're not skilled labor, but don't we got a right to make a living wage? That is why we industrial...
Get down off of that box.
Lead the way.
There's only one way to find out if an idea is true or not. Throw it into the open market of ideas. If it's good, it stands up. If it isn't, it falls down.
Get down.
Sure, lead the way.
We got a rotten police force in this town. Every one of them wears the
Yes.
copper collar. The
We don't-
patrolmen, sergeants, lieutenants, the copper collar of Copper King Moody. But the man who wears the biggest, fattest copper collar of all is Chief of Police, Paul Blake. Why, he couldn't... Hi, Paul. Lead the way.
Freedom of speech, what is it? Can you see it? Can you hold it in your hands and touch it? Can you put it in a bank and draw interest on it? No, you can't see it, and you can't touch it, and it won't make you any money. But without it, you're a slave. And a slave is a dead
Get
man.
down.
Ladies and
Get
gentlemen.
down off of that box.
What's so revolutionary about ladies and gentlemen?
Well, when a wobbly says that even ladies and gentlemen is revolutionary, now get down off of that box.
What should we say, y'all? What should we say? What should we do?
What's the charge?
Addressing a street meeting without a license to speak.
How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, Your Honor. I want a trial by jury.
Trial by jury is reserved for more important cases.
It's my constitutional right.
Listen, trial by jury means a jury has to be called in, the district attorney, your own lawyer, assuming you have the money for one.
Trial by jury.
All right. You'll get your trial by jury. In the meantime, you can go cool your heels in jail.
Jail's not just a bad place, looked at in the right way.
Next case. What does he mean by that? Jail's not a bad place, looked at in the right way.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
What's the charge?
Addressing a street meeting without a license to speak.
How do you plead?
Your Honor, I want a trial by jury.
You too.
Trial by jury, it's my constitutional right.
Listen, don't you know your place?
Jail's not such a bad place.
I know, looked at in the right way.
You've got it, Judge.
Next case.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Joe Hill. I know that name.
He's the singer.
Oh, what's the charge?
Addressing a street meeting without a license to speak.
So you're the singer.
Yeah, I sing.
The man who makes up the little songs.
Yeah, I guess you mean me. Your Honor, I want a trial by jury.
Oh, you too.
You can dismiss the charges.
And if I do dismiss the charges?
Let me go right back to that street corner.
Listen to me. Let me talk to you man to man. Don't you have any responsibility to the community in which you live? Don't you realize these songs of yours incite people to violence and riot?
My songs celebrate the working man. And now let me talk to you, man to man. We tried to get a license in order to tell people why us miners were being forced to go out on strike. We couldn't get that license. Why? Anybody else could get one, but not us wobblies. Old Copper King Moody must be getting mighty anxious. And as for you, you better watch out, Judge. Your copper collar's showing.
How many of them are up in the same charge?
167, and we're pulling them off the box at 40 a night.
And everyone is going to ask for a trial by jury?
Looks that way, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned. Mr. Moody, they're fighting for the privilege of getting into jail.
They just keep coming, Mr. Moody. Every freight car brings them another load.
And every one of them wants a trial by jury.
Every footloose wobbly is on his way here. They're conversions from the Dakotas, Montana, Oregon, California, Washington. It's an invasion.
McCrae, I hired you and your detective agency to prevent exactly this kind of situation from coming to a head. You haven't done such a good job, McCrae.
Please, Mr. Moody, try.
We've got an angry boil on our hands ready to bust open and splatter everybody in this community with yellow pus. Did I make a mistake hiring the McCrae Detective Agency? There are other agencies in this town who would like to be on my payroll. What's the situation, Blake?
Well, as chief of police for this city, I can tell you the situation is getting out of control. Fast.
How many of them are in jail?
963. I've got no place to put the next batch.
They've clogged the courts. They've jammed the administrative machinery. There's no law and order. They're bankrupting the city.
How long would it take you to clear the court calendar?
A year. Probably more. This is a brilliant tactic.
And you fell right into their trap.
What did you expect me to do? Let them out into the streets and they're bums, tramps, vagrants.
For public consumption, we call them bums, tramps. But don't let yourself be fooled by your own labels. These are men with a plan. They have audacity. They are dangerous. They want to destroy everything we've worked for. By the way, when are you up for re-election?
I do trust her, you realize. Under ordinary circumstances.
Be quiet, let me think. What are they singing?
High in the Sky, Jill Hill wrote it.
Well, that tune's a hymn. I've sung it many times in church. He's arrogant or crazy to take a sacred song and put such words to it.
He puts songs to everything, whatever people know.
You listen to him down there. I got him packed in a sweat box, packed up standing. There's no place to move, sit, go to the toilet.
There's not a man down there with dry pants.
It would take a year to clear the court.
Probably more.
Drop the charges, let them go.
What do you mean, let them out in the streets to say what they want, when they want, where they want?
Open the jail and throw them out.
We'll just go right back to what they were doing before.
Don't you know when we've lost? Do as you're told.
What do they do now?
Call their strike, of course. Right?
Right. As soon as you let us out, we're calling another strike meeting.
A spreading plague, these wobblies. Who thought of this scheme?
Joe Hill.
The songwriter?
Only he could think up with such a crazy scheme.
It's not crazy, it works. Tell me about this Joe Hill.
Well, let's see. He's a Swede. Landed here about 12 years ago. He's laid oil pipe in California, picked fruit in Oregon, worked the lumber camps and sawmills. Now he mines your copper. He's got no family. He takes a room and board with Hilda Witt. She's a Negro woman. She don't count for much.
Living with a Negro? What for?
There's no accounting for taste. He owns the clothes on his back and a fiddle, that's all.
Fiddle? What for?
He writes our union songs.
Songs to fan the flames of discontent. What are you carrying one for?
Every wobbly carries a little red songbook in his pocket. Our union headquarters in Chicago just went to press with another edition of 50,000. That's how popular they are.
This Joe Hill has a good number of songs in there.
Yeah, every few weeks he comes out with a new one. Here's one he wrote in San Diego for the railroad strike to the tune of Casey Jones.
Very clever.
Those foreigners working for the Southern Pacific learned it and sang it together. It gave them something in common. They won the strike.
I'm familiar with that strike.
Here's one he wrote for the factory workers in Massachusetts in the woolen mills. And he wasn't even there. He just wrote it and sent it to them, and they sang it.
And they won. I'm also familiar with that strike. And now he's here. Does he intend to write a song for me?
He's here with all his songs. He came here especially. He says a man like you shouldn't be allowed loose in this country.
Oh, does he?
Yeah? and he's got a way with people. He brings them together. They get excited.
Do you get excited too?
Me?
I thought you might. You admire him.
Why do you ask a thing like that of me? I just want you to know what the situation is, that's all.
What else do you know about him?
He goes to the dances in the miners' camps, where he sings his songs and plays his fiddle.
That's unimportant. What's his prize?
He has none.
Every man has a prize.
Not this one. It's been tried half a dozen times.
Can he be scared?
That's also been tried. He's got big scars on his left cheek that come from a beating he took up in California. A couple days later, he's up out of his sickbed, his cheek still open to the bone, and he's organizing another strike. He's got ideals by which he lives. He enjoys them.
You can always trip up a man by his ideals. If he can't be scared and won't be bought, then we'll find a way to trip him. What else do you know about him?
Well, he's living with a woman.
Well, you don't have to be a wobbly to indulge in that kind of recreation. Now, the judge here...
Well, if you'll excuse me, sir, I must go back to the program.
What about the woman?
She's married. Her husband's a drunk.
What if the husband showed up some night unexpectedly? And suppose he had a gun?
Does he know what's going on? Can you pass the news to him?
I made it my business to become friendly with him. It'd be very easy when...
I prefer not to be acquainted with the details of your plan.
Is he a good shot?
It's a small room.
Yes, it's a good plan. Easy, smooth. Once done, quickly forgotten. Get started.
Mr. Moody, I've got a couple hundred to invest. Dollar for dollar, which is the better buy? The Essential Copper Company or your copper company?
Dollar for dollar?
Dollar for dollar.
The Central Copper Company?
I thought so.
He's sure of his gun, isn't he?
I know my business.
Good man. Very competent.
Best I've got to be stable.
There is power in a land of working folks when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land. One industrial union band. There is power in a band of working folks when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land. One industrial union band.
Our soapbox fight for free speech led us to jail, but it won us the right of assembly. Now we are assembled to fight for a decent wage. And we can win this strike only through our own determined will, only by our own power, only by our own solidarity. We rise to better things.
Right. I was a shingle weaver, and I worked in the sawmill. Shingle weaving's not a trade, it's a battle. For 10 hours a day, your fingers are staked against the steel. It doesn't care what it cuts. Sooner or later, you reach over too far, and this is the results. First, you lose your fingers, then you lose your job. I've been authorized to tell you that when you declare your strike, we'll contribute to your strike fund.
I am Italian. All over my village were postcards. A mill on one side, on the other side, a line of workers going to a bank to put in the money. So when we come to America, we find that the Greeks who come before us, they want to strike. But we, the new ones, the ignorant ones, we scare, we take away their jobs. Yes, how could we know we do this terrible thing? 5 years it took us to learn the truth. Now we want to strike with the Greeks.
Yeah.
But the owners of the mine are busy in other countries. Boatloads of Hungarians already come. They with a postcard in their pocket. How do we make the solidarity?
It was like Valiant. He speaks truth. We have scabbed on each other. The Finns hate the Swedes. The Swedes don't trust the Greeks. The Greeks fear the Italians. The Italians suspect new Hungarians. And the Americans have contempt for us all. Everybody fears everybody.
How can we make the solidarity? I am Jew.
Oh, great, a kike.
I am Jew, so when my family left Poland, we too carried the postcard in our little valise. But here also we found that working men and women live, labor, and die to feed the fortunes of the rich.
Listen to her.
We must forget that we are Jews. Forget that we are Poles, Russians, Greeks, or Italians.
Yes, forget this.
We must remember we are workers.
Yes.
We must all strike.
Strike.
We must go to the newly arrived Hungarians and tell them the truth. That is how we can make the solidarity.
Right. Yes. Strike.
Now there are millions of my
registers in the South. Once in a while, a handful of us breaks loose and strays out to the West. All right. Now the rest of us remains in the South. Now there are no tempting postcards in the South. They don't want us to go north or out west because they're keeping us in the South for their own special purpose.
Yes, listen.
Once they've finished importing the boatloads of cheap foreign labor, they'll build a new labor supply. Untapped, untouched, native-born Americans. Us, Negroes. Now they'll divide you and us on the basis of color, just as surely as they divided Italian and Greek on the basis of nation and language. That's right. Nation and nation. Language and language. Color and color. It's the same lesson. Black and white together now.
We are together.
Yes.
We are united.
Yes,
we will win. And the winning of this strike will make Copper King Moody shiver. And the Lumber Kings and the Coal Barons will start shivering with him. And that's what we'd like to see. Yes. All of them shivering together as they see us make the solidarity.
Let's take action. Let's get dynamite.
Hey, come on, Ed. Tom, we agreed. We're going to keep this strike peaceful. If there's violence, let them make it, not us. But remember, we too are armed. Armed with our labor power. Right. And when we fold our arms, the world will stop. For the policeman's club or the militiaman's bayonet cannot cut down timber in the forest, mine copper from the earth, or sail a ship across the ocean. We will build a wall, high, solid, and wide. Each of us a stone in that wall. Stones of color and stones of nations to build a wall of solidarity. The solidarity wall, which will make of this earth a garden place to live in. Would you have freedom
From wage slavery.
Then join in the grand industrial plan.
Join in. You from misery and hunger be free.
Then come to your share, lend a hand.
There is power in a land of working folks when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand.
Would you have mansions of gold in the sky, but live in a shack way out in back?
Hell no!
Would you have wings up in heaven to fly, but start here with flags on your back?
No way! There is power in a band of working folks when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand.
The strike is declared. Let's march out of this union hall and sing where it counts. On the picket line. One march. Let's go.
There is power in a band of working folks when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand.
Another. Longer. What'd you bring me?
We got your fresh bread. We got tea. We got a couple slices of ham. And here is a pie with the compliments of Hilda Winton.
A pie from Hilda Winton?
Yeah. I told Hilda I was going to visit my girl. She baked an apple pie for you.
She must be a wonderful person for you to love her so much.
The best.
When will I meet her?
I don't know now on account of the strike, but it's going to be soon. I told them all about you. They all want to meet you.
She'd better like me.
She will.
Do you want to eat now?
No, let's talk for a little while. Oh, my feet are warm. I've been on them all day.
How about the strike?
That's solid. The man on the street, hell, even the lady in the house know what this strike's about. It's wonderful to have all kinds of people swinging along with us for a change. We're going to win. Oh, look at this. 10,000 of these are going to be plastered all over town by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Those copper collars are going to melt when they see this leaflet. This leaflet's almost as pretty as you are.
How do you mean, Joe?
Well, you belong in the woman department. Flica, and it belongs in the leaflet department. The leaflet. Now, in the leaflet department, it's any time as pretty as you are in the Flica department. See what I mean?
Who wrote it?
Well, I did, naturally.
Joe.
Woman, leaflet, man. What a beautiful combination. Hey, pretty leaflet. Hey, lovely woman. Hey, lucky man.
Pleased with yourself, aren't you?
Sure am pleased with myself. The 3 nicest things in the world are in this room. How many more we got?
108.
You mean we gotta finish 108 more?
Wait, 107, and I've got to deliver them by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
How'd you get so far behind schedule?
I'm way ahead of schedule. I took on an extra 500.
Why? You knew I was coming over tonight.
Because I had to make that extra dollar, and I had to make it today. Look at my bank book.
$48? How did you manage to save all this money?
Tomorrow when I get paid for these cards, I put $2 in the bank, not one. Then I go to the lawyer and I say, I've got that $50. Let's get started on the divorce. I'm in a hurry. Joe. Joe, we can't do this. What have you done to me? I can't finish the cards now. You're a traitor to our cause.
Me a traitor?
You most certainly are a traitor. I want to be able to finish these cards tonight. If I don't finish these cards tonight, I don't get paid tomorrow. If I don't get paid tomorrow, there's no money for the lawyer. And if there's no money for the lawyer, there's no divorce. If that isn't being a traitor, what is?
All this just because I give you one little kiss, huh? I wasn't even half trying.
Joe, don't belittle your powers. Sit over here. Help me if you want to, but stay on your side. And please, let's concentrate on the work.
Give me some. How many more?
106.
We're never going to get finished tonight.
Concentrate. He's coming here tomorrow.
Henry?
Yes, Henry. I wrote him and told him I had something important to tell him.
Oh, the divorce.
He's coming tomorrow. I'm a little afraid, Joe.
Maybe I should be here with you.
I want to do it by myself. I want to be able to do it by myself. First he used to go away for a day or two, then it stretched out for a week, and then I never knew when he was going, and I never knew when he was coming back. I used to lie in bed in the morning with a blanket over my head, to force myself to push the blanket away and get out into the cold world.
How about now?
Now the world isn't cold. Living is hard, but life isn't cold. Oh, my beautiful Joe. Stay on your side of the table. Not that many more. We're gonna live together. Have breakfast. Make a life. That's good, isn't it, Joe?
Hell, I'll write a new song for our wedding. The Joe Hill Wedding March. You tired?
My fingers are stiff.
Someday this kind of work's all going to be done by machines. 100 times faster and better than we can do it by hand.
That'll throw 99 of us out of jobs. Why don't machines help us instead of throwing us out on the streets?
Well, that's a good question. And once you've got the answer, then you've got the power in your working hands to transform the world. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make the tea. And then while we're eating, I'll tell you about machines and how they can make us free. And then I'll tell you about unions in the age of machines.
Tea and bread and pie and a lesson in machines and the union man. That's good, Joe. Go make the tea.
Get on!
Marion, stay out the back way.
Oh, wait, there's no back way out of this house.
Shh. You got the pistol?
Yeah. God, you just gotta arrest him, minute, 'cause those steps not to win that.
Take the gun, Henry. Take the gun. Here, take it!
Don't shove me, I'm gonna go in at my own good time, okay?
Damn it, Henry, he's with your wife!
What are you sore about? It's my wife, isn't it? Well, maybe you got a grudge against him, huh? Maybe you hate him. Let's just wait a minute, okay? Okay?
Yeah, Henry, I hate him. I hate every living, breathing minute of him.
sings. He dances the polka. A woman loves him. Get up! He's not afraid of getting old. Even without a dollar in his pocket, he feels free. Henry, get up!
You get out of my way. Oh, nice and homely. Should I take my shoes off too? Huh? You gonna invite me to your little tea party?
Henry, why don't you just put down that gun and then...
Bitch! You should put your shoes back on, okay? I don't like to see a man with his shoes off in my house. Up against the wall. Hands up! What's the matter, Union man? Huh? Make a speech, sing a song. Did you lose your tongue?
You might not point that gun at me, mister. You have a habit of going off.
But I got a point at you because I'm going to shoot you.
Henry, please just give me the gun and...
Shut up! Where do you want that first bullet, huh? In your eye? You want it in your belly? In your heart? Go on, just tell me! Bring it! Jack! You're jumping bomb, can't you? Well, Jack, you're not going to jump in anybody's box anymore, okay? On the heart. Count to 3. 1.
Mister, think what you're doing.
2.
Mister, they'll hang you!
Jimmy, you hurt?
I gotta get out of here. If they find me here, they'll use it against the strike. Look, I'll be all right. I'll see you in a week or 2.
He's been hit. Joe! Joe!
Please, Mr. Moody, I've got to cover 100 to invest, dollar for dollar, which is the measure by. You should hold on to your job and pay more attention to it, or you'll have no job and no money for investments.
Don't you laugh your head off.
There's Frank. Got the message for him to be here in this office half an hour ago. Where is he? Cheap appendix. He's a chowderhead. And you! What's so hard about killing a man cornered in a room? Joe Hill is still alive. I think their investments are going to your head.
Hold on to your laughs. I'll hold on to my silver dollars.
Tell me, Tom, what do you do with yourself at night?
It's my union job.
Well, yes, but I mean, when you finished working, what do you do?
I go to my room.
But what do you do? I mean, I've never seen you with anyone. Who are your friends?
I have no feelings and I have no friends.
What do you do with all that money?
I save it for my old age. When I'm old, I can't allow myself to be poor. I must have money to protect me.
Oh, it's no joke to be poor, we all know that. Why do you...
Money is my gun, my weapon of defense.
Oh, and who are you defending yourself against?
People like you. When I look at you, McCrae, I know the only thing I can depend on when I'm old and unwanted is money. Money, money.
When I said for you, I want you to come fast!
And I got a load of trouble out there. You better have a damn good reason for calling me here at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What's the word on Joe Hill?
Wait a minute, what goes on here? What do you know about Joe?
Look, we came to ask the questions, you answer them!
He was shot in a fight over a woman. The doctor phoned me, he asked me to fill out a report. Here. Now, how do you know about Joe Hill?
Well, you've got an active little town.
And now, goddammit, you stay out of my police records there.
Goddammit, don't be so touchy. 2.5 pages of various and assorted crime.
Well, Saturday night, busiest night of the week.
Let's see, hold up. Robbery, burglary, highway robbery, burglary, murder.
Saturday night.
Henderson, where do I know that name from?
You stupid bastard, you don't know who Henderson is.
Let's see, at 10 o'clock last night, a masked gunman entered a Henderson grocery store. He shouted, "I've got you now," and fired several shots. Henderson, wounded, staggered to the counter, grabbed his own revolver, fired at the gunman. Martin Henderson, 13-year-old son of the grocer, and the only known witness, said the gunman seemed to be hit in the chest. But he returned Henderson's fire, killing him, then turned and fled.
And you still don't know who Henderson is?
Henderson, he's
No, you do. You don't? Now, why does Captain King Louis let you hang on to your job? Henderson was on my force until a year ago. He quit, took his savings, and opened a grocery store.
Now I remember.
Finally, he remembers the genius.
Yes, 5 months ago, another gunman went into his store and tried to kill him. He should have remained a cop. Why did he quit the force?
He didn't like the shenanigans going on. An honest man doesn't belong on the force, he said. I agreed with him and accepted his resignation. That man Henderson was crazy honest. He wouldn't take $1, wouldn't take 1,000, wouldn't take a cup of coffee. It's a pain in my grandmother's ass. He was a hard man. I mean, you couldn't push him, couldn't bend him. He made plenty of enemies, sent plenty of gunmen to jail. One finally paid him back.
I think the man who shot the grocer was Joe Hill.
What?
I said, I think the man who shot the grocer was Joe Hill, don't you?
I wouldn't be surprised.
And Henderson clipped him with a bullet before he went down.
No, you came to the wrong party at the wrong time.
I don't think so.
I won't let you pin this charge on Joe Hill. Now, I must get the gunman that shot Henderson.
No, what makes you so pure all of a sudden?
And I just want to get that gunman because Henderson
Oh,
is a good
no,
man.
you've got another reason. Come on, out with it.
All right, no man on the force is going to be safe until I get this gunman. Not even me. No one's going to stand up to him and dish him out the law.
All right, you can pin another charge on the gunman.
Now, it's easier to pin another charge on Joe Hill.
Blake, do you want to keep the job? You don't. Aggravate me!
Please, McRae, in a month I'll have a charge so tight Joe Hill will never be able to squirm out of it.
It has to be this one. Tonight. Joe Hill's already got a bullet wound in his chest. We'll use that as part of the frame.
Please, McRae, I'll have you another charge, I promise you.
It has to be this one tonight. I've got to deliver Joe Hill.
Moody. Oh, well, look, this one won't work. I mean, you shot in a fight over a woman. You bring in the man, you bring in the woman. What then?
You're arresting the man on suspicion.
Suspicion, that's all.
But suppose he resists arrest. And suppose he pulls a gun, or was about to pull a gun.
Or seemed about to pull a gun.
And he gets shot, resisting arrest, and the bullet kills him.
Get out of here.
Do you want to keep your job? I asked you once. Then don't aggravate me again!
I don't like it.
Oh, he doesn't like it. You don't like it? Do it!
But how?
Everybody's force is accused of one trigger-happy lunatic. You've got two, right? Johnson and O'Leary.
Right.
Well, send them both out. Tell him Joe Hill is dangerous. Tell him he's got a gun. He's fast with a gun. The rest will take care of itself.
Be sure to tell Johnson and O'Leary Joe Hill's living with a nigger.
Well, what about the boy, the grocer's boy? He was a witness.
All dead men look alike.
And what if there are other witnesses?
There are always witnesses against the dead. Just do your job. I'll get you all the witnesses you'll need.
Look, Blake. No one but we three need ever know. What's done is quickly forgotten.
There'll be talk.
Oh, yes, who'll talk? The husband who shot Joe Hill? The real killer? Henderson, the grocer? Joe Hill will be stiff as a board.
What about the woman?
We'll take care of her.
Hey, Willie? Johnson and O'Leary?
Martha. Where's Martha?
This isn't Martha, this is Hilda.
Martha, what's happening to her?
There's nothing wrong with a little bit of love making now and then. But Joe, to get shot over, that's taking it to an extreme. I'm trying not to hurt you, Joe. All right, Joe, take it easy.
Where's Martha? What's happening to her?
I'll fix the bandages and you get some rest, a good night's rest.
Where's Tom? I want him to go see Martha, see if she's all right.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm trying not to hurt you. Tom will go to her house.
Go get me a pencil and paper. I'll write down the address.
Let me finish the bandages first. He was shot in the lung. It was close, but he'll pull through in a week or two.
What's the matter? Was the window too high?
I didn't even get a chance to get near it.
How you flat-footed and barefooted. Very nice.
He's not supposed to talk.
I'll talk if I want to. It's my lung.
You see?
You give me a swift pain. We've got a strike rally tonight. We need you to sing.
Is that all you can do? Push him?
What's the matter with you?
For 1 minute, forget you're on strike. Forget he was supposed to sing tonight. Care for him because he's your friend, not for what he can do for the union.
I do care for him. But goddammit, a woman and a strike must never get in the way of each other.
So where's my personal life? Don't I have a right to go see my girl?
Look, a lot of other people in this strike have personal lives too. And your personal life has placed theirs in jeopardy. What I'm driving at is
Mr. Man of good sense, sometimes you've got no sense. Now save it till he's better. Raise up, Joe, just a little bit. Help me, Ed, I can't do this alone.
Joe, we've got to get you better. For you. Okay?
Hey, lay back down now, Joe. Sleep, Joe. Rest.
How is he?
He'll be all right after a while.
You know where I found him? Alone in a saloon at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I guess I have a right to be alone in the saloon at 2 o'clock in the morning if I want to, haven't I, Ed Rowan?
Ed, get me another blanket.
Making that noise. I'll see what's going on.
Some noise outside.
Where's Joe Hill over there?
Why did you ever find
Joe
out what
Hill,
you wanted?
we got a warrant for your arrest. Get up and start moving.
He doesn't go anywhere until I say so. The doctor says he has a hold of us. I'm big enough to...
Come on, get him up. Get him high. Get up, I said.
Look out, he's reaching for a gun!
Oh, he's a hurt man. What are you shooting for?
All right, stand aside, you blood.
You don't have the nerve to drop me in cold blood. And what are you going to do with him? Are you going to get rid of him too?
No gun, Johnson.
All right, come on, get up. Let's go.
Well, what's he wanted for?
Murder.
Him? Murder?
Yeah, Henderson the grocer, shot and killed.
Joe, don't worry. We'll get you out of this in 24 hours.
He's alive and in your hands, and there are 3 witnesses.
Go see Martha, 245 Middle Street, 4th floor rear. Her husband's the guy who shot me. He's got no love for me, but he'll clear me of a false murder charge.
245 Middle Street. Let's go.
No, wait, not all of us. Someone's got to go to make sure Joe's not pushed around down to the jail.
He's right.
Ed, go to the jail. Hilda, you stay here. I'll go to the Weavers.
And that's the way it's happened, Mr. Mooney. I mean, I'm sure you must realize that no one could foresee the twists and turns in the situation.
Incompetence in this world never fails to amaze me. Incompetent police officials who allow issues to come to a head that should have been left untouched. Incompetent judges who press issues that should have been skirted. Incompetent heads of detective agencies who cannot fulfill a simple mission. The world is filled with incompetence, and you are one of them.
Now, Mr. Mooney, I explained all the difficulties. You're not
Do you
being
think
fair.
this is an ordinary strike? Do you think these are ordinary strike leaders? They want everything. They want to change the entire order of our society. We stand on the threshold. The golden age of America. The nations of Europe need our steel, lumber, copper. What are they buying it for? It's for guns they're buying it. For cannon, for battleships. 2 years, 3 years, and all Europe will be in flames. Their death promotes our life. At the moment they are destroyed, we are ready to step in and take mastery of the world. And I will not permit us to be frustrated by
They are a miserable handful of fanatics is what they are. And I'll destroy them.
You are a thoroughly stupid man. A miserable handful of fanatics? Is that what you call them? These are men with a plan. They are desperate and daring. They are to be feared. What seems to be the trouble? Who is this man? Is he indestructible?
I assure you, the situation is in hand now.
It was to be done quickly and efficiently. It has not been done quickly. It has not been efficient. I despise a clumsy man.
But Mr. Moody, he won't live another 10 hours. He's in jail right now, bleeding away, and he won't come before the court until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. By then, he'll be stripped as a bar.
I said once before I do not wish to be informed of the practical machinery of your plans. Finish what you set out to do.
I will. I will.
What should have been simple has become complicated. The circle is widening. More and more people are becoming involved. Too many. Narrow down the circle. Let it be no more.
He'll be dead in 10 hours.
Workers of the world awaken, break your chains, demand your rights. All the world you made is taken by exploiting parasites. Shall you need submission from your cradle to your grave? Is the height of your ambition to be good and willing slaves? Arise, you prisoners of starvation, fight for your own emancipation. Arise, you slaves of every nation, in one union band. Our little ones for bread are crying, and millions from hunger are dying. The ends, the means is justifying. 'Tis the final stand. If the workers take a notion, they can stop all speeding trains. Every ship on the ocean.
Hey, Mike! Hey, Mike! Mike!
Shut up! What do you think I am, a bellboy? Do you think this is a goddamn hotel?
Hey, what rhymes with trains?
Why don't I bloody you up like I would anybody else?
Come on, Mike, I need a boost. I gotta finish my song.
Well, what have you got so far?
If the workers take a notion, they can stop all speeding trains, every ship upon the ocean. But nothing works in there with trains. What else can they stop?
They can stop all this goddamn running around. Agitating, shooting their mouths off, that's what they can stop.
Yeah, but what rhymes with trains?
Chains, that's what rhymes with trains, chains.
Chains, yeah. If the workers take a notion, they can stop all speeding trains, every ship upon the ocean. They can tie with mighty chains. Not bad, Mike, not bad. I'll have to work on that. Workers of the world awaken, stand in all your splendid might.
Now, why are you sitting there writing that junk? For 6 weeks ever since you've been here, you sit and write you some poems.
Take the wealth that you are making, it belongs to you by right.
What you need to do is get yourself a lawyer.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, but I can handle this myself.
Oh, sure. You'll get up and you'll sing them a poem and they'll open the gate and bow you out. Please, get a lawyer.
It's not up to me to prove my innocence. They've got to prove me guilty.
Please, Joe, get a lawyer.
Look, all I gotta prove is that I wasn't at the Henderson grocery store between 9 and 10 on that Saturday night. And I can prove that.
Oh, sure. You can prove. There was a fella here last year in this very same cell. Oh, he knew everything about the rules of evidence, of direct, indirect, redirect, counter, rebuttal, torts, brief, examination of witnesses, and etc. A real brain. All handled the case, he says. And it wasn't murder either. Just stealing from the warehouse. And you know where he is now?
President of the warehouse.
You'll be where he is, and you won't like it either.
Open the door, 10 o'clock. Hey.
Your two friends are here.
Oh, Joe. Tom, I'm glad you could make it.
Now, 10 minutes, fellas, that's all. Last time I let you stay over and I got called down for it. 10 minutes.
Okay, Mike, sure. What's the matter with you guys? You look like you got sent for but couldn't make it.
Joe, we've only got 10 minutes and we've got to have a meeting.
Well, I call this meeting of the executive board to order.
Tom, make your report.
It's a lousy report. There's been no word at all about Martha. Not a clue. Nothing.
Well, keep looking. You're bound to find something if you just keep looking.
Joe, you've got to face it. You know by the time I got there that night they moved out, every stick of furniture was gone. A moving van came in the middle of the night and nobody knows where they went. North, south, east, or west.
Yeah, I know.
You also know we've been searching for the Weavers for 6 solid weeks. It's been a quiet search, a secret search, but it's been intensive. 40 of our best union men all over the United States, no result.
Yeah, but the search is young. 6 weeks.
The chance of their turning up gets smaller with each passing day. And it's not just anybody who's been organizing the search. I've been personally responsible. They've been swallowed up as though they never existed. That's the report.
Well, discussion then. Make it fast.
You know what it adds up to, Joe? We've got no alibi. Unless you can produce the Weavers, there's no use going on the stand your own defense.
That's right.
The first question the prosecuting attorney will fire at you is, where were you on the night of the shooting? And how will you answer him? With a woman who doesn't exist?
Martha will come forward.
Maybe she can't come forward. Maybe something's happened to her.
That's why you got to find her.
What if she can't come forward for another reason? What if she's dead?
No, she's not. She's not dead. Martha's not dead.
Whatever the reason she doesn't turn up, you no longer have a simple, open-shut alibi.
So?
So, Mr. Chairman, on the basis of the report and the discussion, I propose we get a lawyer.
Lawyers cost money, and I'm just a little bit short at the moment.
I'll get the money.
Where?
From the boys in the union.
Oh, from the boys at the union. You mean you'll ask the boys at the union to cut down on their kids' milk so they can kick in for my lawyer, huh? No thanks. I got into this myself. I'll get out of it myself.
Look, the way you got into jail was personal, but your staying in jail isn't. What happens to you is strict union business.
Look, I won't have the union coming to my defense in something that's been made to look like a sleazy fly-by-night affair with a shooting thrown in for good measure. Now that's final.
Joe, we need you. We need your songs.
Well, sing my songs. Fine. Hell, I'll write them in here and slip them out through the bars. Here's one half finished.
Damn it, Joe! You're a leader! Acknowledge it! Act like one!
Knock it off.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Ed, knock it off! Accept the responsibilities of your talent, because if you don't, you'll be knocked out of the struggle.
They can't knock me out. Look, the law of the land states that a man is innocent until he's proven guilty. Now, they can't prove me guilty, so I go free, no matter what they try to do.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that. Martin Henderson, the grocer's son, and the only eyewitness in this case. You know he's already said that I don't look like the man that shot his father.
Good, good. Let's go into that. Okay, Martin Henderson. He's 13 years old and a pretty credible witness, right?
Right.
Okay, you were placed in the lineup. And this Martin Henderson, the only eyewitness, looked at you and he said, what did he say? You tell me the exact words.
He said, that's not the man that shot my father. The man that shot my father was shorter and heavier.
Pretty good testimony for you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, then answer my question. Why weren't you released at once? Come on, Joe, think it through.
Look, we're spending a lot of time on this and we haven't got it to spend.
I'll handle this my way if you don't mind. Now, Joe, the preliminary hearing. Again, Martin Henderson said, the man who killed my father was shorter and heavier. Right then, the charges against you should have been dropped, and you should have walked out a free man. Why are you here? Did it ever occur to you that maybe you've been framed?
Yeah, I thought about it. But why should they go after me? Why not you? Why not Tom? Why me?
Why you? Is that your question? Okay, I'll answer it. Last week, a bunch of us at the Union Soup Kitchen thought we'd have to throw in the sponge and go crawling back to Copper Collar Moody and take whatever he wanted to offer us. Rotten hours, rotten wages. But then some of the women who were peeling potatoes started to sing. It was one of your songs. Then they started
Which one was it?
What difference does it make which one? Anyway, then they started to sing another one, and then another. Nearly every one of them your songs. Then the men joined in. Suddenly there was laughter and sparkle in the air. We decided to hang out a few more days. Pour a little more water in the potato soup. Exactly 3 days later, Moody's mine superintendent sent us a message. Come and negotiate. Yeah. What held us together? Your songs. Moody and the others, they understand the menace of strikers who unite, laughing and singing. They hate it. They fear it. They would like to crush it. That's why, Chew. That's why you're in jail, and if they can help it, you'll never come out alive. I've answered your question. Now you answer mine. Just what do you think your trial is going to be? A search for truth? This is a frame-up. A frame-up for murder. They have 100 legal ways to get rid of you. So when you walk into their courtroom, the union wants to see you armed with a first-rate lawyer.
Well, all right, let's say I need a lawyer for the trial. But I won't have it coming out of union funds. It's just too damn expensive.
Too expensive? Can we buy another Joe Hill?
And knock it off. We don't have the money. What do you want to do? Bleed the union dry? Spend money on my defense instead of organization?
Joe, defense is organization.
Stick to the point.
I am sticking to the point. Look, I'm talking union to you, okay? At every meeting for your defense, say half the men are organized, but the other half aren't. We've got them now in the union hall, and that's when we organize them, right in the union hall. Joe, defense is organization.
Well, Tom, what do you think?
I agree with Ed about the lawyer. But I agree with you 100% about it not being a union issue. Ed, you've got a great little saying there, defense is organization, but in reality, it's like Joe says, it'll give the union a dirty name.
Come on, this stupid. Come on now, Ed. Tom has the floor.
Joe's right. It'll seem as though we approve of men running around with married women and shooting affairs and all that sort of stuff. Joe, it's your personal business. I don't see dragging the union into it.
Right. Tom agrees with me.
You're both wrong.
Look, Mike Daly's going to be here in a minute. Let's put it to a vote. I call the question.
We're not ready for the question.
All those in favor of a lawyer with no union involvement? All in favor? Hey, that's my song!
Wait a minute, I'm not ready for the question.
The decision's made, Ed, 2-1.
The decision is not made. Joe, you're voting away your life.
Well, it's my decision and it's my life.
It's not your life, it's our life, and I won't let you throw it away.
Look, you calm down. Look, the next point is a lawyer, and with no union involvements.
Yeah, a lawyer, that's clear. No union involvement, that's clear.
Your 10 minutes are up, fellas.
Can't you give us another minute?
This is me one and only job, fellas, and I happen to like it. Out you go. Come on.
All right. Meeting's adjourned.
Wait, the vote was railroaded, though. I don't accept it.
No. This was an official meeting, and it's settled. Official, Ed. You hear me?
Joe, there's someone else here to see you.
Who?
Scott McBride.
Who's he?
A lawyer. I've seen him around.
A lawyer? Now, how does a lawyer happen to come here right at this time?
Some lawyers have a nose to sniff out the right place and time. But you need a lawyer. So talk to him.
I'll bring him in.
Joe, a lawyer's not a cheap expense. Here's fine.
How do you get a fiver to be so free with?
He gave it to me. The lawyer. A bribe to get me to let him in here to see you. I would have done it anyway, so I figure the money's yours.
Hello, I'm Scott McBride. Here's my card. I'm interested in your case, and I'd like to take it on.
Well, what makes you so interested?
Good question. I'll give you the answer. What's a lawyer? When I was a student, I thought I'd serve a useful function. But like all lawyers, I serve the sick and the dead, the odds and the ends. In my lucid moments, I ask myself, is this why I studied law? But you gotta make a living, so you practice duplicity and evasion for the sick and the dead, the odds and the ends. Every case like yours comes along. Now, you didn't come to me, I came to you. Now, I know my way around these courts. I know where a $5 bill would do the most good. I know who has the power. I know the judges. I know the temperament and feelings of every one of them.
You're too fast with the words, Mr. Lawyer, and you got too many of them. In short, you talk too much.
The hallmark of my profession, also its curse.
But I do need a lawyer, that's a fact.
Well, then, do I get your case?
I don't have any money.
Money doesn't interest me. The case does. Matter of fact, the size of my fee will fit the size of your pocket.
It's a mighty shrunk up pocket.
Well, then it's going to be a mighty shrunk up fee. Now, I need to examine various legal documents, and your signature on these papers will give me the necessary authority to go ahead.
You already got these filled out? What did you think I'd say yes?
I was hoping that you'd understand my true and deep interest in your case and why I feel impelled to take it on. So I made out the papers.
I guess that sounds reasonable. All my friends been telling me I need a lawyer. I guess now everybody's gonna be happy, huh?
Everybody's going to be very happy. And you, well, you are as safe as a penny in God's pocket.
Yeah, well, make sure there's no hole in that pocket. I don't want to fall out.
Rest easy, you won't.
Oh, since you're going to be handling the case, I got a little something I want to put on account.
Well, now, as I told you a moment ago, money is not important, but the case is. However, if the giving of it will put you more at ease, well, I have no objection to being the recipient.
We're going to be spending a lot of time together, right?
Yes?
So do me a favor. Talk more simply. Not like this. To the point.
Curse of my profession. Now, let's get serious. The boy who is supposed to be the only eyewitness to the shooting, what about him?
Well, he's already said I don't look like the man that shot his father.
Good, good. You see, winning a case often doesn't have very much to do with justice. Little things can have a big effect on the judge and the jury. Now, I want you to listen very carefully here. I'm going to tell you how to conduct yourself at the trial.
Go ahead, Martin. Continue with your story.
My father was dragging a sack of potatoes against the wall. I heard a noise and the door opened.
And what did you do then?
I turned. I saw a man just inside the door with a gun in his hand.
Now, was his face masked or hidden in any way?
Yes, he had a red handkerchief over the lower part of his face.
And what did he do after he entered?
He shouted, "I got you now," and he fired at my father.
And what happened then?
My father staggered to the counter and grabbed his gun and shot the man.
And what did you do?
I ran and hid behind the counter.
And Martin, did you get a chance to see the bandit?
Well, yes, sir. I peeked over the counter.
Now, Martin, I want you to take a good look at the defendant sitting over there.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, Martin, how does the shape of the head of the defendant compare with that of the man who shot your father?
It's about the same.
About the same as what?
About the same as the shape of the head of the man who shot my father.
And Martin, can you tell me how does his general appearance correspond with that of the man who shot your father?
He looks like the man. I mean, his general appearance corresponds to that of the man who killed my father.
Why don't you stop this? He's practically putting answers in the boy's mouth.
Joe, you don't understand these things. You're a layman. Just be guided by my judgment.
Will the defendant please stand? Now, Martin, I want you to take another good look.
Yes, sir.
A long, steady look. And tell His Honor and the jury, how does the height of this man standing before you, compare with that of the man who entered the store the night of the shooting? Now, take your time, please, and answer carefully.
It's about the same.
About the same as what?
About the same as the man who killed my father.
Martin, when they brought you to the jail, you said I didn't look like the man. You said the man that shot your father was shorter.
Leave me alone. I know what I saw.
Trying to hurt me.
Mr. McBride, I must ask you to exercise some control over your client. And Mr. Hill, there's a certain procedure to a courtroom. I must ask that you observe that procedure.
Yeah, but Judge, the boy's already said that I...
Don't do that again. You ruined everything.
Now, Martin, answer this question. How do his features compare with that of the man who murdered your father?
You don't. I couldn't see his face. I mean, I couldn't see his features because he had a red handkerchief over the lower part of his face.
Ma, but you did observe his general appearance. And you say that the general appearance of this man resembles that of the gunman.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Martin. That'll be all. Your witness.
How old are you, Martin?
13.
13 years old.
A lot of people came into your father's store, didn't they?
Yeah.
Ever seen a defendant before?
No.
Now, you say that the height of the gunman is about the same as the height of the defendant. Is that right?
Yes.
You're pretty good with figures, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, then suppose you tell me, how tall was that man, and how would you describe the shape of his head?
Your Honor, I object. What is he trying to do? Trap a 13-year-old boy?
Mr. McBride, I think you are dealing unfairly with the witness. He's only a boy. He's testified admirably. Now, please let the witness look at the defendant.
Your Honor, I am merely trying to test his credibility, and in order to do that, I must...
Mr. McBride, I admonish you to pay heed to my orders. Now, step aside.
But, Your Honor, I must...
Mr. McBride is not the first case you've had before me in my court. Do not behave in a manner as to make it the last. You may now restate your question to the witness.
I waive further cross-examination.
Then, Your Honor, may I bring forth my next witness?
Wait, hold on with your next witness.
Is there no way to suppress you? I tell you this for your own good.
Your Honor, I need a moment with my attorney.
Granted.
What the hell are you doing? Keep the boy on the stand. Push him, drive him, get the truth.
Push him, drive him. You saw the way the judge tore into me. If I kept the kid on the stand, he'd tear us apart.
Whose interest you looking out for, yours or mine?
Look, if I kept the boy on the stand, within 5 minutes he'd be crying all over the courtroom. There would be an effect on the judge, and the jury would be disastrous. Joe, you've got to trust my judgment. I know what I'm doing.
Look, the judge isn't giving me a fair shake of the dice. The boy's not telling the truth. Now, who do I have to rely on if not you? For God's sake, mister, get in there and fight for him.
All right, you've had your minute and more. Let's proceed.
Just do me one more favor. Don't make this a love match with the judge.
What is your name?
Viola Healy.
And what is your...
Miss Viola Healy.
Miss Healy. Where do you live, Miss Healy?
12 North High Street.
And can you tell the court where you were Saturday night, January 10th, about 10 o'clock?
I was walking north on Main Street from 2nd to 3rd Avenue.
And how do you know it was 10 o'clock?
Because I just saw the vaudeville at the Empire Theater. It lets out at 10, and I was walking home.
Now, Miss Healy, did anything catch your attention as you walked home?
Well, I passed the Henderson grocery store. I saw his son was in there with him, and I distinctly remember there was a cat in the window. I walked about a half a block past the store, and this man came hurrying up behind me.
Now, why do you remember this man?
Because he was very rude. As he caught up with me, he practically shoved me off the sidewalk.
Now, Miss Healy, can you describe to the court this man you saw?
Well, he was holding his chest hunched over as though he were hurt, but I could tell that he had a mustache and light-colored hair.
Anything else?
He was wearing a handkerchief around his neck.
And then, now, what color was this handkerchief?
Oh, I don't know what color it was. It was too dark to make out.
Well, Miss Healy, I wonder how you could see so much of this man after all. At first he was behind you, and then when he passed you, he'd be walking away from you. Now, how could you see his face at all?
Just as he passed me, he looked up at me.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice anything else?
He was a medium build and about 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Any scars on his face?
Yes, he had a scar on his jawbone. This man has a scar on his jaw.
Excuse me, Miss Healy, but I must ask you to let the district attorney ask the question.
I'm only trying to be helpful, Judge.
Mr. Marshall, I speak now officially as secretary of the IWW local. I want you to take over his case.
No.
Why not?
It would take too much of my time.
Too much of your time?
I could handle 6 cases in the time it would take me to try Joe Hills.
So the time can be translated into money.
It's not the money.
You've tried other cases involving laboring men. Why won't you take this one?
I have tried 3 cases involving laboring men, and they've shown me things I don't care to look at too closely. I've seen greed and corruption. I've seen wealth destroying freedom. I've seen the dollar held high and man held low. Is this the dream of America? All right, let me get one question out of the way. He's innocent, isn't he?
I know Joe Hill. He didn't commit this murder. This murder was committed for revenge. Henderson was an ex-policeman, and he put more than one gunman in the pen. 5 months before he was killed, he was attacked. Remember? It was in all the newspapers.
I remember.
Okay. After the attack, Henderson was interviewed by a reporter, Hardy Downing. Henderson told Downing that the gunman's intent was not to rob, but to kill him. Henderson told Downing who the gunman was. Downing knows his name. In court, yesterday afternoon, Downing was on the stand, ready to state the identity of the attacker, as told to him by Henderson. But the district attorney objected, and the judge sustained the objection. After that attack, Henderson went around telling people that his life was in danger because of the enemies he had made. Even according to the boy's story, the gunman said, "I've got you now." Like he was saying, "I've got you at last." His revenge, not robbery. He didn't go for the cash. He wanted only one thing, to lay that ex-policeman dead on the floor.
You say Joe Hill did not commit this crime?
Yes, yes.
Then why doesn't he go onto the stand and state where he was the night of the shooting?
His alibi is destroyed. He was shot by a husband who found Joe with his wife. But they moved, disappeared. Joe can't go on the stand because he can't prove where he was that night.
The first thing you need to do is hire a detective agency and find that man and his wife.
Mr. Marshall, 40 of our best union men all over the United States have been quietly searching for them. Not a trace.
Then it's a frame-up.
It's a frame-up.
We're wasting time. Let's get to that courtroom.
And now, Miss Healy, will you tell His Honor and the jury, how does the face of the defendant compare with that of the man who looked at you in the street?
Well, I can't see a speck of difference.
And how do the scars on the left side of his face compare with that of the man who pushed you in the street?
Naturally, they look the same. They'd have to.
For God's sake, can't you break this up?
If we'll only antagonize the judge and the jury to no purpose.
He's putting answers in her mouth. What are you waiting for?
The right moment. The opportune moment. Just wait with me.
Right, till they put a rope around my neck? Your Honor, may I say something?
That is your right.
If it please the court, I'd just as soon act as my own counsel.
Mr. Hill, if there are any disagreements or differences
Your Honor,
between...
there has been no basic disagreement between my client and myself.
Oh, there certainly has, Mr. McBride, and you know it. Why don't you just get the hell out of here? You already done me enough damage.
Mr. Hill, I insist you observe proper courtroom procedure. Now sit down and be silent. Counsel, exactly what is the situation?
Well, until this moment, Your Honor, my relations with my client have been entirely amiable.
Tell me this, have I the right to discharge my counsel?
Yes, you have that right.
Then I will act as my own counsel.
Don't you realize it'll be very difficult for you to find another lawyer to take over your case at this late date? It will be infinitely more advisable for you to patch up whatever minor differences you have between you and your present attorney and to proceed. Now, don't you think so?
No, I don't think so. Give me a chance to recall some of these witnesses. I'll show up one lie after another. There's a frame-up somewhere.
As judge of this court, it is my duty to protect your interest, to allow you to stumble along at the benefit of experienced counsel would be acting cruelly against you.
Why don't you want me to act as my own attorney?
Therefore, Mr. McBride, I'm going to ask you to remain with the trial and serve Mr. Hill's interests as best you can.
But you said I had the right to discharge him. You just said so.
Yes, you have that right. But as judge of this court, I have a duty to protect your interest. Now, how can I encompass your right and my duty in the self-same instant? Mr. McBride, would you consent to serve as amicus curiae?
I will, Your Honor.
What's that?
Yes, amicus curiae. A-M-I-C-U-S-C-U-R-I-A-E. Amicus curiae. It's Latin. It means friend of the court. As amicus curiae, I authorize you to give such advice as might be necessary for a proper defense. In other words, the court requests you to continue with the trial in a manner fair and beneficial to the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I can't dismiss my counsel, huh?
Well, you can and you have, yet as judge of this court, I have the right to appoint him as a friend of the court.
Yeah, a friend of your court, not mine. I tell him, there's the door, get out. You tell him, here's the door, come on in.
Silence! I'll hold you in contempt of court.
What are you gonna do, give me 30 days in the pen? I already been in jail 5 months, I got nothing to lose.
Your Honor, I don't see any further reason for delay.
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
May I question Miss Healy?
You may.
Now, Miss Healy, you say you were walking north on the street in front of the Henderson grocery store, and this man caught up with you and pushed you?
Yes, he did. He pushed me hard.
And then he turned to look at you, and meanwhile, you got to look at him.
Yes.
And you noticed he was wearing a red handkerchief?
It wasn't red.
Was it blue?
It was a handkerchief. I don't know what color it was.
Well, didn't you notice what color it was?
It was too dark to make out.
Oh, but it was light enough for you to see the scar on his face, huh?
The lamp on the corner caught the scar and showed it up.
Oh. So, he pushed you into the building side, and he ran around on the gutter side.
No, it was the gutter he pushed me into. He was on the building side.
Your Honor, I object. The witness has clearly stated that she was nearly pushed into the gutter.
Sustained.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. I guess I'm a little slow at this detail stuff. So, he was on the building side going north, and you were on the gutter side going north, correct?
That's it.
Now, since you were going north, the buildings would be over here, and the gutter over here, correct?
Correct.
Then you'd be looking at his right side. Isn't that correct, Miss Healy?
That's correct.
Then where's the scar? My scar is on my left side, not my right.
I saw the scar.
Where?
I saw it.
Where, on the left and the right side?
I think.
Now, if you were on the gutter side and going north, then you could only see the man's right side when he turned to look at you. I have no scar on my right side.
You tricked the witness.
Yeah, so did Solomon when he offered to divide the child. Now, you said it was dark. Too dark to make out the color of the man's handkerchief. And you say he was hunched up and holding his chest as though he'd been shot? Now, when he turned to look at you, it would have been what, something like this? Now, how much of his face can you see now, either his right or his left side? Hardly anything. And yet on this one quick look, you're so sure of what you saw that you condemn a man to his death?
I think I'm going to vomit.
Now let her go, Judge, before she vomits on your nice, clean court. You could have done that if you'd have had a mind to. Your Honor, can I have a short recess?
Granted.
Joe, I've got a new lawyer. This is Alexander Marshall.
Thank God, I'm tired. Get away from me, McBride. When I chose you as my attorney, I committed a crime against myself.
I'm Alexander Marshall.
And I'm Scott McBride.
I've been hired by the defense. Please inform the judge of the situation and tell him we're ready to proceed. I'm glad I'm in the case. Thanks for giving me the final push. Your Honor, I have just been retained by the defense in this case, and I need time to examine the evidence. I therefore make application for a postponement of 2 days.
Such a postponement would inconvenience all the witnesses, the jurors, and the state. Motion denied.
May I take an exception? Your Honor, I move for a mistrial on the grounds which necessitated the change in counsel.
Motion denied.
May I take an exception? Your Honor, I move to disqualify the entire jury.
You know very well, once a jury has been sworn in, there can be no doubt as to their qualifications. Why do you even make such a motion?
Because the entire jury was improperly selected. I would show you so strong a bias that a verdict of guilty is a foregone conclusion.
Motion denied.
Exception!
Mr. Marshall, I begin to lose my patience with your attitude.
Your Honor, I wish to recall several of the witnesses.
Whom do you wish to recall?
Martin Henderson.
No, he's only a boy. I can't put him through another harrowing experience like that. Motion denied.
Exception. Your Honor, I wish to recall Viola Healy.
The defendant himself cross-examined her very extensively. Motion denied.
Exception. Your Honor, whom may I recall?
Any other witnesses you wish?
What, any other witnesses except the two crucial, the two essential witnesses? Your Honor seems to be concerned for the emotional harassment and inconvenience of everyone except Joe Hill. Be concerned for him, Your Honor. His life is at stake.
What did you say, Mr. Marshal?
I state, Your Honor, that your rulings cannot but leave a genuine doubt as to whether the state needs to rid itself of Joe Hill, fair trial or no. I therefore respectfully ask that you reconsider these rulings.
Mr. Marshal, your remarks here are insulting to the court. If you make any further utterances of that kind, I'll hold you in contempt of court.
Your Honor, I stand here as counsel for my brother citizen. I cannot function in his best interest if I allow myself to be intimidated. Even though you threaten to punish me, I would still have to fight for my client exactly as I am doing. For my highest duty as an officer of this court is to serve my client, regardless of the consequences to myself. May I proceed, Your Honor?
Proceed.
Thank you. The case in the lower courts is lost. We will fight. We will take exceptions. But this phase is over. The next point of attack is the state Supreme Court.
That'll require money, won't it?
Yes.
I'd better get up to fence meeting. They don't like Joe Hill. Why don't they like Joe Hill? Because Joe Hill is you. He speaks for you. He sings for you. They don't like Joe Hill because they don't like you. Why? Because of the fight you make. And what are you fighting against? A 10-hour day, low pay, unsafe conditions in the mines, sickness and crippled arms and early death, Pinkertons who smash your head when you open your mouth. Joe Hill lifts his voice against these conditions. And they mean to silence that voice. They hate this man who sings for the lowly and the poor and the downtrodden.
There was another organizer. His name was Jesus Christ. He was a carpenter. He was an organizer. And he went among the poor and the lowly and the downtrodden. And he said, rise up from your oppressors. And he said, drive the money changers from the temple. That's why they nailed Jesus Christ to the bleeding cross. And I'm not blaspheming when I say Jesus Christ is you. Joe Hill is you. That's why they're trying to frame Joe Hill. It's you they want to frame, it's you they want to silence, and it's you they want to crucify. Brothers and sisters, the jury has just delivered its verdict. We have bad news. Not unexpected news, because we're not likely to get justice from the copper-rotten, arrogant courts. Joe Hill stands convicted.
We stand convicted. But we say, you will not do this thing to Joe Hill. You will not do this to us. You know what this is? A beer mug? No. Yesterday, it was a beer mug. Tomorrow, it's a beer mug. Right now, it's a weapon. A demonstration. We've got a lot of them here. We're coming down amongst you with these beer mugs. Make them heavy. Make them heavy with your protest. Heavy with your fight. And heavy with your money. Make them clang with your hard-earned nickels, dimes, and dollars. Come on, fill them up. Defense is organization. Remember that. We're defending. We're organizing. We're going to spread the fight until the stink of this sin against the working man burns the nostrils of every decent man and woman of the world. Brothers and sisters, it's a battle, and we're on the move. Let's go!
Like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not be